Welcome to Phoenix Wright's Ace Attorneys. If people haven't seen this game, it's literally in the name of the game. You're an attorney. And you just help people not be guilty. Very simple concept. The first turnabout. You got an achievement for starting to play the game. Okay. Dang. I can't get caught. Not like this. Thought there would be voice acting. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 2. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. I'm glad we made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed that everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. Says a lot about you. And your client as well. Thanks? Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean, you knew to defend for this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe him my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him anyway. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over. My life, everything, it's over. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. Sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick! Hey. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What is wrong with him? What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Aw, Nick. You gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? Person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. The first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. That's... In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case to clear his name. And that's just what I'm gonna do. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright? This is your first trial, is it not? Yeah, yes, Your Honor. I'm, a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor? Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Handshaking, eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state your name of the defendant in this case. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Whew, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover it so many times. It's... wait. Uh-oh. No. No way. I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix! Are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the defendant... oh, the victim's name. Oh, the victim of... Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim name is listed in the court record. Just press tab. Fourth wall break. To check it at any time, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? Oh, wasn't it Miss Block? Cinder Block? A mistake in court could cost you the case. I'll ask you again. Who's the victim in this case? Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then. First, question for the prosecution, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor? As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was the statue of the Thinker. You are not the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. That you added to the court record. Rather heavy. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use the tab to check the court record frequently. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief? What do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh. Mary gets excited easily. This could be bad. Ahem. Mr. Butts. Is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. You just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me. Ever. What's it to you anyways? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, he had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. He had just returned from overseas with one of them that day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it, lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. The day before the murder. Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model, but I did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. These? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude. You can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right. I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Did I? Stop from answering. My client has no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Oof. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That's cheating, she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, when I... Whoa, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Let's just skip the first one. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy. You're not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did, and maybe I didn't. Uh-oh, you went. What do I do? Do I want him to answer that question? I feel like he has to. I know. I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. Yeah, I was there. I went. Order. Well, Mr. Butts? Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man. So, like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body, just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's buildings. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscription, is that correct? Oh yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Witness testimony, alright. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it's strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to the nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly, it was 1 p.m. The man who ran was without a doubt the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Miss Sawit used was one of those, Your Honor. I have a record of the blackout for your forget it. Blackout record added to the court record. Actually, Mrs. Stone's building was out from noon, so 12 to 6 p.m. Now, Mr. Wright? Yes. Yes, Your Honor? You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, this is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? And that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find the contradictions between the court records and the witness testimony. Then once you found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with the test. Cross-examination. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a mean apartment. I need to see something. 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. From noon would be like 12. Up to 5. That he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Okay. Thinking it was strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman not moving, dead. Okay. I quailed and frightened, found myself unable to go inside. Noon to 6. And she died 4 to 5. Damn, what the frick? Doctor called the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to the nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly, it was 1 p.m. (1 p.m.) Dang, what the freak, man? 1 p.m. You found her at 1 p.m.? Went to the party, you found it at 1 p.m. but the death was 4 to 5. You found the body at 1 p.m.? You sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death are sometime at 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Oh, that. This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sawit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do, point out the contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? I'm kinda comp. I should be a real attorney. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh. But it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I already know the lie. I already found it. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a tape program. Wait, tape program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. I think I already know the lie. Time of discovery. Heard the time. There was a voice saying it was probably coming from the television. Guess she was victim watching tape. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry. He said it was coming from the television, but I'm pretty sure there was a blackout. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said that there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Yeah. Well, the defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite... wait, I remember now. Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. What? You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. Hold on. I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment. Wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. Murder weapon. Murder weapon was a clock? There's a table clock in the apartment. Huh. Wouldn't the murder weapon be off though? Would the clock still be on? How did you know the victim got hit? Murder weapon the killer used to hit the victim. Did I do it on this one or this one though? It was the table clock in the apartment. I mean, that's reasonable. But then he says here that it's the murder weapon off the clock, and the killer used it to hit the victim. But like, I feel like, how would you know? Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. I thought so. It was the statue. Now how is this supposed to be a clock? You, with your objections and your evidence, just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness stated, the statue is indeed a clock. Then that gives a switch. You just tilt it, and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness testimony was correct. It is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now? Yes. Your Honor, there's a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hands. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with that clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke to you just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Never heard that word a day in my life. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Yeah. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never... Look, the clock, I heard no... I mean, I saw... It broke through his toupee. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! I hate you! It was him, I tell you! I saw him. Sorry, He killed her, and he should burn! Burn! Give him death! Order. Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright? Your Honor? You claim the sound of the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think carefully through it. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawit heard was definitely this clock. In fact, which is clear if you simply try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now. Here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? Ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So I've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. As you can tell, the clock's off. This clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one. Ha! 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 You forgot one thing. Uh-oh. What's he talking about now? While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? You can't prove that. You don't have a case. He's right. How am I gonna prove that? I was so close. Mr. Wright? It seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you induct the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawit. I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. You treat me like I'm a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers, all the slime. You lawyers are all slime. Almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Sawit. Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slowed on the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. That doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason, and you'll have your proof. I know exactly why the clock was 3 hours slow. Right? Can you think of a reason why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes. I have the exact reason, actually. Wait. Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let him have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you said the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There's a piece of evidence in this court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see the evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. The passport. He was coming home from Paris. Now, assuming that she had that clock with her, it would be running on Paris's time and not this time. Assuming she got it as like a gift shop or something. Nope, I pressed the wrong thing. I pressed the wrong thing. As I was saying, it's her passport. The victim had returned home from abroad that day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in the apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sawit? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Meh. Dang. Order. Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness? He was arrested and had been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. And find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. But y'all should hire me, you know? Like, if this YouTube stuff don't work, just get me as a defendant. And with that, this court is adjourned. It turns out that Frank Sawit was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of their house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawit let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sawit grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. August 3rd. 2:32 p.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 2. Whew! I still can't believe we won. Right. Good job in there. Congrats. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all. Not at all. You fight your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen a chief look this happy. It's if she's glad. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry? You're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no, I mean bad. Bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy... Okay, I'm not... Gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was a... Nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this. Ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Oh no, I couldn't. Hey. I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as my memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick, and and she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Squeeze me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right, Wright? Can we stop putting Wright and then my last name there? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? She kept her statue, bro. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever. She probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right. I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think that's our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah! Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him? Yeah, part at least. You have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over a drink? You flirting with me? We getting that? And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us. Unless you count the clock he gave Mia." I didn't know it then. But that clock was soon going to be back at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that wouldn't be able to keep. The end. Oh, that's the end of the first case, I think. Yep. Oh. I think that's a good time. I think that's a good time to stop. I fried that case. That's all I gotta say. And like, if YouTube don't work out, you just gotta hire me as an attorney. That cross-examination, that's all me. I watched Death Note. But anyways, that was fun. I like that game. Definitely gonna make more videos on this. They're really fun. Ugh. But like, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's 5 a.m. 5 a.m. I'm definitely going to bed. So I'll see you guys later.